And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there. And we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
Can you explain to me what the Cloward Piven strategy is?
Bitcoin was created in order to implement the Cloward Piven strategy. And the Cloward Piven strategy is to overwhelm the government with demands for services.
It's very simple. The idea that there could be a kind of welfare policy where generation after generation stayed on it, and nobody cared whether the people got a job, and you were paid for having kids, didn't exist until the late 60s. A lot of people seem, understandably, to think that that's the way welfare always was. It was that way for a good 30 years. That only started then. There's a reason why when you read a novel about the black poor in say, the 1930s or 40s, that welfare is generally mentioned once or twice. It was hard to get on, it barely paid you enough to eat, and social workers were always trying to get you off it. And this counted for whites as well as blacks. So we're not talking about welfare as a racial issue in the 30s or 40s. But starting in the late 60s, welfare was expanded by those Columbia social workers.
We are a threat to this oligarchic, plutocratic order, and we're proud to be a threat.
Last question and comment from you, Francis.
Does it make me not write articles in The Nation magazine? No. Did it stop Cornell and I from organizing this national teach-in? Of course not.
The Cloward-Piven strategy was the brainchild of Columbia University sociologist Richard Andrew Cloward and his wife, Frances Fox Piven. Both Cloward and Piven were longtime members of the Democratic Socialists of America, and Piven is an honorary chairman of the Democratic Socialists of America today. Yes, the same Democratic Socialists of America that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a faithful member of. Cloward and Piven first proposed their strategy in May of 1966 in the liberal magazine The Nation, titled The Weight of the Poor, A Strategy to End Poverty. In the article, they explained their master plan for destroying our capitalistic republic. You see, their greatest problem when it came to defeating capitalism was that capitalism was so successful. By comparison, the prospect of socialism would be a hard sell unless it were proposed as an answer to a collapsed capitalistic system. So, put simply, the Cloward-Piven strategy was to socially engineer the collapse of capitalism by overloading the government bureaucracy with a flood of impossible economic and social welfare demands, thus pushing society into crisis and economic collapse. Their plan was to infiltrate and use the Democrat Party that was already prone towards expanding the social welfare system.
The objective here is to get everybody on the dole.
The strategy is to put as many people on the welfare entitlement system as possible so that it has to give. It will collapse.
And here it is.
San Francisco Mayor London Breed announced the launch of a new guaranteed income pilot program for the city's trans community.
And Confer's Ella Sogamonian talked to local trans leaders. Ella, how are they reacting to this news?
Well, they tell me that it's been years in the making and that this money, particularly for this community, is so important because when you look at the numbers, trans people are disproportionately more likely to be impoverished.
Decades ago, our dear sister Frances Fox Piven decided that she was going to not just be in solidarity with poor people, but she fell in love with them, which means you stand alongside them.
What he's talking about here is you should also follow Saul Alinsky and Cloward and Piven. Let me explain why. Whether it's Bill Ayers or the radicals from the 60s, they all come out of one philosophy. In a moment, I'll explain how Rudy Giuliani back in 1994 exposed this group. This group is Cloward and Piven's strategy on how to bankrupt America by overwhelming the system. And basically what it is trying to take and give money to the underprivileged, getting them for more and more government grants and grants till you overwhelm the system and you shut down Washington, and basically you're bankrupting America. The next stage of that is to socialize the country.
To qualify for gift, applicants have to be 18 and older, be a San Francisco resident, and make $600 or less per month.
Even so, the activists' subsequent years continued to rely on the tactics of overloading the system. When public caught on to the welfare scheme, Cloward and Piven simply moved on, applying pressure to other sources of bureaucracy wherever they detected weakness.
Each person will get $1,200 per month to use as they please.
I'm just really thrilled that the city of San Francisco is investing in its trans residents, especially as a community that is extremely vulnerable.
It's actually a great moment because what is happening is that people are rising up, they're speaking back, they're arguing, and they're putting their bodies on the line for social and economic justice as they perceive it. We need that so badly because our country has become so unequal.
And today we are launching an innovative pilot program.
Thursday, Mountain View became the latest, but probably not the last, California city to offer a guaranteed basic income.
Is about lifting Mountain View families up and out of poverty.
In all, there are 4 similar pilot programs nationwide. Some experts say these efforts throw good money after bad into an ever-growing bureaucracy.
And along with the temporary income, recipients will be connected with a range of services, including mental health care and financial coaching. Applications will be accepted from November 15th through December 15th.
Wow. Can you believe this plan was developed in the mid-1960s and the left has been working on this since then? If you look at these 8 steps, their plan is almost complete.
It was a short essay trying to examine why the unemployed were not protesting, why they weren't doing what they had done during earlier periods of very serious unemployment, which was marching, rallying.
Shut the hell up! You're a fascist. Get them to print you a T-shirt with fascist on it.
Right. Professor Piven, we want to thank you for joining us tonight, and of course we hope you're all right, and this is dangerous times, so please take care of yourself. We really appreciate you joining us tonight.
We have to look at the data. If this doesn't work, okay, we'll try something else.
Governor Newsom announcing the appointment of California's first openly transgender judge. Andy Mudrick will serve as a judge on the Sacramento County Superior Court.
The society that puts equality before freedom will end up with neither. The society that puts freedom before equality will end up with a great measure of both.
Of course. I'm not stupid.
We're going to put a link to the Teach-In website at our website and the link to the diagram.
It's a spiritual battle. A warfare between good and evil.
Thanks a lot for searching that out. I appreciate that. Fisherman in the Box. Fisherman in a Box.